Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Attack On Show. I'm your host, Rob E. And in studio, we've got a very special guest. Actor Patrick Harney is here. Welcome.
What's up, brother?
Welcome to the show. Glad to finally get you here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
This is awesome. So you're here. You have a special project that you're working on, and I'm interested to find out a lot about it. So this was kind of my way to try and get the inside peek on this. You guys are working on Locker 42.
Yes.
Correct? Yep. You just had like a fundraising time go by.
We did.
So where are you guys at, or do you want to tell a little bit about the plot and premise of the series or movie that you guys are working on?
Yeah, so it's a feature-length film. It's a crime thriller, and basically the plot of the film is there is this group of there's these bodies that are found in a storage locker unit, and it eerily resembles a case from back like 20 years ago that never got solved. And so there's this like grizzled, broken veteran detective who gets assigned the case. He's like a state detective, and he gets brought in to handle the case. And this rookie cop, whose father is a chief of police, assigns him to
How'd he get his job?
Exactly.
I want to see his scores.
Exactly. And it's basically a way for his father to be able to keep tabs on him. You know, he's fresh out of the academy, wants to be able to make sure that he's got an easy way into the
fast
job.
track. Yeah.
Yep.
No, this is excellent. So how are you attached to this project?
No, so I am an executive producer and also an actor in the film. I've been involved with it since it was originally supposed to be 3 short films that were put together, and Jeff Kapp came up with the idea, and then Nolan Bryant, who's a writer out of Canada, he wrote it, and Jeff co-wrote it. But I remember when we went to originally shoot the short films, I told Jeff, I said, look, dude, I said, this is way too good to be just a short film that'll hit a few festivals and that's it. I said, you got to make this a full feature.
This is like deja vu.
And and when it's funny because he was like, yeah, I don't know, I gotta toy around with it. And I said, all right. And so he spoke with a couple other people. He spoke with Nolan, and Jeff actually came up with basically the whole idea of where it was going to go. And he was like, you know what, we're going to do it. So I've been involved with it since kind of the inception.
Conception?
Yes. That would make more sense. It's not a dream within a dream. Within a dream.
Within a dream. Anyone got to top the spin?
Yeah. But yeah, and then also my cousin, Axel Harney, he is also an actor and producer on the film as well.
Okay.
And he actually he's an actor. He started out in modeling, and he's been doing really well for himself. He actually just had a film get released by Sony called Boyne Falls. And then we also have another producer who's our line producer. His name's Shane Shansky. He's part of Vigilant Entertainment with Jeff. And then we also have another producer who we're working with out of London. His name is Gillen Williams. He's a really, really cool guy, and he just had a film. It's getting its U.S. release date, or it's getting its U.S. release. It's called Hosts.
Okay.
And it's a horror film, and it went to Cannes Film Festival and was getting sold there. So yeah, it's a really cool project, and I'm excited to get into it. Right now, we're just in the process of getting funding, and what's cool about it is we want anybody who, with this film, we don't want anybody to think like, oh, I can't give $50,000, or I can't give $5,000, whatever. Anything that you want to give to be able to get involved in this project, we're more than willing to work with. It's one of those things where we want to make sure that we want to make a film that we can be proud of, to be able to say, it's a Michigan-based film that has gone all over.
Right.
And we want people to be able to feel like they can get involved and reach out to us. And try and get involved, and so we'll see what happens.
No, every penny counts, and when you're building a project like that, yes, I think people kind of get in their head that you say, hey, we're raising money, and people think those large price tags, but if the more people that donate small amounts can do just as well, you can actually raise more money that way. There's always a weird thing. I feel like people, I don't know what it is, like they feel almost bad that they can't donate more, but they don't realize how appreciative you are for every single dollar raised. That anybody donating to something that you're doing, you're passionate about, every dollar means it's the world. I mean, so no amount is too small, and every little bit goes a long way when you're starting a project like this.
Yeah.
So where are you guys now? The fundraising period is over. People can still donate, correct?
So yep. So the Indiegogo campaign that we had is over. We are toying around with the idea of maybe doing another one on a different site at a later time.
Okay.
Not quite sure, but if anybody wants to get involved, you can reach out to me, and we can definitely set up or figure something out, a way to be able to get you involved in any way that you can in a project that is going to be pretty sweet. And I mean, what's cool about it is I've always loved the idea of being a part of something that not many people can say they've been a part of in their lifetime, and that's making a movie. I mean, you know, how many, if you walk down the street, how many people can you go up to and say, hey, have you been in a movie, or have you made a movie? 99% of people are going to be like, no. You might get that 1% that was like, oh, well, I did a student film back in college. But, I mean,
Was it in color? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Was there sound? Yeah, no. And so it's one of those things where we're very focused on making sure that anybody it feels welcome to be able to be a part of this project, and be able to jump in, whether they just want to dip their toes or go head in first.
Yeah.
So.
No, and that's important. So I guess I think that's a lot of people don't understand when a project like this is coming together. They see these movies, and I don't think they really realize the amount of work and hours and time that is put in the preparation just to get a film made, and you guys are experiencing that. Do you guys have a time frame, a goal as to like when you would like to start off filming? Obviously, the money is going to be the time, I imagine the biggest factor. But do you have a goal set in mind, like you would like to have this money raised by a certain time, or start the next step of production?
Yeah. So we originally we were going to start doing our financing search this spring and summer. Well.
It's a perfect time to raise money.
We all know what happened with COVID.
Thanks, 2020.
Yeah. So we decided that it wouldn't be good or proper to go up to people asking for money during a time where a lot of people got laid off. So, and a lot of businesses were shut down. So, and so we kind of pumped the brakes on it. Now, because we were originally going to try to shoot this fall, now what we're doing, or our goal, is to shoot Q2 of next year.
Okay.
That's our goal, and we think we can do it, as long as some of these, it's all a chess game, and as long as some of these pieces fall into place in enough time, then we should be all right to do that. But we're also not going to rush anything either. I mean, we've already put a lot of time into this project. We're going to make sure that it's the best that it can be.
If you're going to do it right.
Exactly.
Especially at this time, and I think that's what's happening with a lot of the art industry or film industry that you're seeing, is everything's just getting delayed. And I think a lot of people are just kind of taking that mentality of, is it the right time to try and raise money for these things? It was difficult before, let alone in times like this now. But you have to really look at this and say, well, I can make it work like this right now, or do I just wait? And I think you're seeing that a lot of people. There's going to be a big gap. I also think that's something people aren't realizing, because new shows are still coming out. Mandalorian, all these series and movies are still coming out because they were already made. I don't think people have quite understood yet. There's going to be a gap here where nothing's going to come out. I mean, this has halted everything. So I applaud you guys, because I think I still think that's the right approach, especially given the current conditions, is wait, do it right, and get a product that you're proud of. You didn't mention what role are you playing in this?
So I'm going to be playing the rookie cop.
Okay.
I mean, I know I don't have much of a beard right now, but if you shave it off, I don't look a day over 16, 17. No. So
I did card him to make sure it was okay.
Height. My height kind of throws people off, but
this is the first time I had to raise my tripod. It's always set for me, and no.
Yeah, I guess I gotta do it. Well, and to kind of go back to your point with the kind of backlog of projects that there are right now, because there is. I mean, there's a lot of projects that are waiting to come out that will be coming out. So what's happening is a lot of studios. This is a great time for private investors because a lot of studios are looking at stuff and they're like, no, we're good. We've got James Bond, Black Widow. We've got all these films in the bank.
Wonder Woman's just waiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just waiting to put them out.
But private investors, this is a great time for private investors to be able to get out there and say, hey, well, we're willing to throw this money into it. And then at that point, studios look at that and say, oh, well, there's people already backing this. This seems like a sure thing. Yeah, let's do it.
Not to mention I think you're right. The other side of that is that you have actually a better chance of getting recognized because there's nothing new coming out. And now these independent projects can come out and they, I think, have a better chance of being seen because Marvel isn't in the theater. Wonder Woman's not out to distract that. Hopefully, I do hope this kind of changes the industry a little bit in the idea that hopefully now in this time span, you get some more of these heartfelt, more dramatic, character-driven movies that are still being made and produced and put out where they're not involving a lot of people, that the story counts more than special effects. So hopefully there might be a change that I think you're right. Maybe there's something there where these independent investors see that and say, yeah, like now might be the time to look into these projects. Doesn't cost as much, not as high as a risk, and may get more exposure because you're not battling against a new Iron Man or Avengers movie.
Yeah. No, yeah, most definitely. And that, that's a good point. And I think this whole thing, if you can take a silver lining or if you can find a silver lining in all of it, I think what it's done is it's really opened the door for a lot of creativity. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at how many people during this whole time period were switching their mindsets to a more entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing landscaping stuff during all this. You know what I mean? Like, I was laying mulch and, painting and staining decks and everything like that. No, it's not code for anything.
Literally landscape. Okay.
I was literally laying mulch. Because, I mean, I got bills to pay too.
Yeah.
And everybody does. And it forces you to get creative. But during this whole time period, I've been able to write 6 out of 8 episodes of a comedy series.
Nice.
Of a half-hour comedy series. I was able to find an idea of a heist film that I want to write. So there's been some good things to come out of this. And I think, one thing that I've noticed about a lot of people is a lot of people look at it and be like, oh, 2020, oh, what a drag, blah, 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 that sucks. Okay, yes, there's been a lot of garbage in 2020, but also I think you've been able to really, I think it's given people the opportunity to see really what they're made of. Mm-hmm. And the fact that so many people can say, well, I've made it through all of this, what's next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of. It's kind of like that. Come on, bring it on. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll just make it through the next thing, and I'll just make it through the next thing. And I think that's a really, really good blessing.
Until those killer bees show up.
Well, those damn what are they called? The murder hornets?
Or murder hornets, yeah. But any other, you also, I know we can't say too much about it, but there's a music video I saw recently, some behind the scenes.
So there's a music video that I'm in, and I'm featured on the song for a band. And that's all I can say.
I think we're going to have an acapella, I Miss My MTV.
That's all I've been instructed to be able to say.
Locked down.
Or else
You're going to get edited out?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but I'll finally get to see the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. The bottom.
The bottom.
Any other projects or anything you got coming up or anything else that you worked on you'd like to tell the attackers about?
No.
No, nothing. Yeah. That's too bad.
I was in this, well, I don't know if you can call it a job. I mean, it was I guess a film that, it was more of like a charity job, really.
Oh.
It's called Project Horror. I don't know. I don't think.
What kind of movie is that?
Well, a comedy.
Oh.
I don't think it'll go anywhere, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Sounds hideous.
Yeah, it was rough. It was probably one of the most exhausting physically roles
really?
I've ever had to play. I lost it. I'm sorry. No, yeah, it was. But yeah, no, I'm in Project Horror. this guy's film.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see the future of it, and I'm excited to see where it goes and see the finished product. I've seen a couple edits of it.
Yeah. No, a little self promotion here, obviously, but I do want to give a funny backstory because Patrick and I met. We took an acting class together. Chris Newman, who was just on the show, we took his class. That's how we met.
Yep.
And I threw the auditions out, the casting announcements out, and Patrick, I think it was the last day of class. You had gotten your audition tape in,
yep.
and I had reviewed it. And that night, I knew I was going to cast Patrick for Agent 2. That's his character. And that whole night, you're like, yeah, I sent it in. Like, what'd you think? And I just kept like, yeah, it was good. Like, I have a lot to look at.
I legit thought I didn't get it.
Left him hanging all night.
So
I think I shot you an
cryptic.
email the next day, like, hey, by the way, your cast is this. You're like, what?
Okay,
Couldn't tell me?
Let me explain to you my viewpoint of this whole conversation, right? I go up to him and I said, hey, man, so how did casting go of Project Horror? And he goes, oh, yeah, it was great. I had so many more submissions than I thought I was going to have. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, dude. Good for you, man. He's like, yeah, thanks. I said, so did you have any feedback? Was there anything, how did you like my audition? Did you think it was good? And he literally goes, it was good.
Dry.
And I was like, okay, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I still have so many to look through though, and but yeah, it was good though, and I'll make sure to let you know about whatever I decide and blah blah blah. I left and I was like, I didn't get that role. I'm like, well, okay, on to the next, I guess. That sucks. Like, and I was in the car driving home. I was like, why couldn't he just tell me? Like,
what a jerk.
We just saw each other. Like, why didn't he just say, I wasn't gonna tell anybody. And then he emails me the next day, be like, hey, by the way, did you get it? I'm like, well, dude, you could have told me, man. I didn't lose it. I didn't sleep once. 1 minute that night. No, it was good.
That attests to Chris Newman's acting class that I was able to pull all that off.
Yes.
So high five to you, Chris, because
that was good.
Due to your classes, I was able to fool you. But yeah, no, I knew after that. I actually had it cast that night, and it was just more fun to have you wait it out for a night. So, no. But you did great in the role. I'm excited for everybody to see your part in this. The whole thing. You even, I saw someone comment when I released a screenshot about. I think it was your idea for the cigarettes. Someone commented that it was Patrick's idea.
It was a guy who knows me very well. Said, let me guess. Patrick suggested do the cigarettes, and he loves smoking in every project. I don't know why. I'm not even a smoker, but
it looks cool on camera.
It looks really cool,
especially in this shot. I'm excited for everyone to see it. Before we let you go, we have to go on to the next segment. I can't let you leave just yet because we have to do the 5 questions to see if you achieve attacker status. So, are you ready?
Can I take a lap or something?
Phone a friend.
I don't know if I'm nervous. Okay. So does that mean if I get attacker status, I get one of these fancy glasses?
You do. I was actually just getting it. Not that I had too much pressure to the game.
Hot damn.
But that glass could be yours, unwashed, because I'm not going to take the time.
I like the residue.
You get the attacker smell at the house later on. It keeps the memories going.
The musk.
All right, so number 1, you've played police officer in a few things. You just got one coming out with Locker 42. Mm-hmm. So I went with, who would you rather have as a partner? Detective Terry Hoyts, which was Wahlberg from guys, or Martin Riggs?
Oh my gosh. I'd go Riggs.
Riggs,
100%. Yeah.
why Riggs?
He's a wild card, and I love it. And he's willing to take risks. He doesn't whine. He doesn't whine. I love the other guys. I love Terry Hoyts.
Colombian drug lords. How do you know this?
The sound of your piss hitting the urinal, it's feminine. Just, I don't want to get insulted all day.
Yeah.
And Riggs, he's got a nice comic.
And that hair. If you can get Lethal Weapon 3 Riggs, it's fabulous. So we'll give it to you, Riggs. That's 1 for 1.
Okay.
All right, you're off to a good start.
So that was the correct answer?
That's the correct answer, Martin Riggs.
I love it.
He'll be the first one to run in. You can let him do all the heavy lifting. Number 2, who wore it better? Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse in X-Men, or Paul Freeman as Ivan Ooze?
I'm not sure if I've seen that.
From Power Rangers, the old Power Rangers
Oh
movie.
my gosh.
They look the same.
Yeah. Wow. That's
You ever put those two together?
No,
yeah.
that's a deep question.
They get to see the overlay. You don't, but they're very similar.
I would say, you know what? I would say Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give it to you. I don't like to give you that one, but I won't. Okay, we'll give it to you.
I thought about going Power Rangers because I thought you would want to be nostalgic, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to be true to myself.
All right, we'll give it to you. We'll keep it going 2 for 2. You're on the edge though. You're pushing it here. This one's gonna really test. Since you bring up nostalgia, I love that because this one's really gonna test your nostalgia. And I took a risk on this question in hopes that you know what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of pressure on.
It is.
Because if I let you down on this,
yeah, I'll be really upset.
Pack up and go home.
You're really upset. You're not taking the glass. Who would make a better best friend? You have Stu Mackner from Scream. All right, remember Stu?
Yep.
Matthew Lillard.
Yep.
Or Wiley Metzger from Airborne. Have you ever seen Airborne?
No.
The rollerblade movie. Way back, Jack Black's first film. Oh, it was worth a shot.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Can we change it to Jack Black and Shallow Hal? I've seen that.
I don't know. You want him as a best friend.
No, I don't know if you want either as a best friend. Oh boy.
Man. So yeah.
You know what?
Wiley was actually played by Seth Green. It was like his first movie after the Chi-Chi's commercial.
Okay, I'm gonna go him.
Yeah.
Because
the Wiley-nator.
Because one, Seth Green. You don't see him anymore, and it's sad. I want to see him again.
I love Seth Green.
He's great. And two, I know you love nostalgia, and I don't want to let you down.
Awesome. No, Wiley was the man. So anybody out there,
and I'm gonna watch it.
You have to look it up. You have to look it up. Airborne. It's that's going to be a Beacon Rewind, I think, on a future episode. I've been wanting to talk about that movie for a while, so it's a good segue. But yeah, it's like an old rollerblade movie, and Jack Black's very first film. They're like teenagers in this. It was my stay-at-home sick movie. Whenever I stayed home sick from school, you'd have to, you just have that movie that you watch because you're stuck in bed. I would watch that every time, so it's perfect for that.
Mine was iRobot.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
do
swear,
like that one.
When I was growing up, iRobot was on TV all day, every day. And my parents hated it for it.
It's a good film.
It's a great film.
Let's
see. Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he swore a lot.
Yep, after eating
Number 4. Who do you think would win in a fight? Daniel LaRusso or Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda.
Bing, got it.
Come on.
And that was a quick answer, so that'll actually shore up number 2 there.
I got you.
Yeah, he can't feel pain. I thought the same thing. Yeah, Kung Fu Panda is gonna take that all day long.
Good question.
All right. You're 4 for 4. You're one question away from getting the glass. Number 5. What would make a better crossover film? Terminator meets Matrix or Ghostbusters meets Ghost?
Oh, boy. Very different. Very different.
You want to see Patrick Swayze get trapped or Keanu Reeves fight a T-800?
You know what? I'm going to say, solely because I'm more intrigued with Terminator meets Matrix, because I would love to see Arnold Schwarzenegger shooting his 50 cal with one arm, just, everything's slowed down and he's just...
The bullet cam.
Yeah. Dude, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see if Neo could dodge a 50 cal as easily as he could.
Yeah. I think that'd make a great crossover. In fact, I'm going to patent that one. Maybe that's Matrix 4 right now that they're filming and we just don't know it yet. It's the real Terminator comeback.
They've been trying to make Terminator come back for too long.
It's been I just watched the last one. It's terrible.
They've been trying to make him come back when he hadn't been gone long enough.
Yeah. T2 is where it ended.
Yep.
The series ends for me there.
Yep.
You're 5 for 5, so you're going to get yourself an Attack on Show glass, my friend.
You see that?
Fantastic. Everybody, make sure you follow Patrick. We got his links below for his Facebook page and his IMDb page. You're going to also look into the Locker 42. Anybody that can donate anything to it, please make sure that you donate no amount too small. Every little bit helps. The link is below, so you can find everything there. Patrick, thank you so much for coming in, Stu. I really appreciate you being here. And before you click away on this, make sure you click like and subscribe below. We're always bringing you cool new content. Awesome guests, right? So, as always, I'm Robbie. Patrick Harney, do you want to tell them what the name of the show is?
It's Attack on Show.
Yeah, it is.
Like and subscribe.